The Yonso Project is a rural community development organization based in Ghana, and we work to improve educational and economic opportunities in rural Ghana. Our main goal is to break the cycle of poverty through economic and education empowerment. Personally, I have lived through poverty. I went to school sometimes with no school uniform, sometimes with no books. Sometimes I had to go to school hungry because my grandparents who brought me up didn't have the means. When I had a chance to go to university, I realized there was something. I have an opportunity now. So why don't I help my people in the rural community? Our approach has been to involve the communities more into the program. To do the planning, we meet with them, we have stakeholders meetings. Some of our programs include scholarships for the needy, microfinance for the rural women. We do a Teach for Rural Ghana program to get teachers to the rural communities. With a scholarship, we were actually supporting a lot poor children who were even on the verge of dropping out of school, or those who had dropped out of school, to put them back in school. And I'm very happy to say that these children who were kind of dropping out of school as a result of poverty, as a result of their social background, are now finding themselves in medical schools, teacher training colleges, universities, nursing training colleges, and some have actually also graduated from teacher training colleges and nursing training colleges who are serving, who are now working and being independent. So that's the success. In terms of the microfinance, we're able to empower over 400 women in the rural communities to expand their businesses and build assets. And when we're actually transitioning, we've had built them to the point that the bank was ready to take them up and give them. So now they are getting their loan directly from the banks instead of going. I had one instance where a young girl who stayed home for about 2 years, was put back in school, and for her class, she's always been the first person in the class. And this person dreams of becoming a medical doctor. We know that definitely Charity is going to become a medical doctor someday, as she wants to. And Bernard Sapon is now also in the medical school in his second year, just completed his second year, and hoping to become a medical doctor in the next 5 years. So these are some of the successes we've been able to do. For instance, and in terms of the libraries, we supported communities which had low grades. Some communities had like 15% pass rate in the national exams. Other communities had, one community for instance, Akrofonso, had 10% pass rate. But when we started working with them, we were working with the communities and developing the programs, and also making sure we provide them the resources. This community was, within 3 years, was able to move from 10% pass rate to 100% pass rate. Yes, so the Yonso Project, working in rural communities and on education for the past 7 years, have failed several times, and through those failed times we learned a lot, and we've gained a lot of experiences in what an ideal school should be for kids. For instance, which the current system does not offer. For instance, children go through school from primary up to university level, and they don't seem to be thinking the critical thinking is not there. They are not challenged to think critically. At the same time, there's a gap between industry and academia. And so there's a whole lot that needs to be developed. The curriculum that has been used for the past 60 years is the same thing we are using, which does not really help, and because the system has changed so much. And so for us, we think we've tried to see how best we can develop these children to be critical thinkers, how best we can help build these children to be effective leaders and problem solvers other than complainants. And also we've looked at how to develop these children to be functional and also take the community they live in at heart, and trying to solve some of the community's problem through community service learning. One of the major problems facing rural communities, especially parents, in educating their children is finance. How can they pay for their children's school fees? And so we have come up with a system that is making the quality education we are offering very affordable to the ordinary rural poor. And this is where we've actually also designed the program, the fees paying in a microfinance system, where parents pay in installment on weekly basis, and so they pay only a small fee at the end of the week towards their children's education. At the same time, the curriculum is more of a holistic approach to child development. At the same time, we're also using a very small classroom size so that teachers can pay attention to this teacher, to every child, because in the traditional classroom, one teacher is to about 40 students, 40 school children, and we are doing one teacher to about 25 children, so that each child can get the attention of the teacher and be able to treat each child as a special case. The other thing we are doing, which none of the schools is doing, is the community service learning program, which also gives the children the opportunity to tackle some of the problems facing their communities and help create solutions for them. So these children do not only go to school to write an exam, to look at writing an exam and passing, but they go to school to become functional citizens in their communities and the nation as a whole. We are asking everybody to help us build a school that is going to change lives in rural Ghana, a school that is going to give opportunity to a lot of young children from poor homes and going to turn their lives around. We are actually looking at building 33 classrooms, but we are starting with about 10 classrooms for now. Ultimately, we'll build 33 classrooms, but we are starting with 10 for this year to start the school next year. And we are hoping to raise about $60,000. We are tackling some of the largest problems facing the development world on a manageable scale.